Well, hello there, folks. Live here, beautiful Huntington Gardens in San Marino, California. Just wanted to do a quick live stream here, share this beautiful place with you guys, because this is one of the great palm gardens of the world, one of the most famous botanic gardens in the world. And I just walked through, and I forgot just how extensive it really is. It's pretty impressive, the scope and scale of this place. Some incredibly rare palm species growing here, including some that are, possibly the only of their kind in California. Really, really impressive, and really, really awesome to see here in San Marino. Really amazing. And this isn't even the warmest microclimate in Southern California. We're at a bit of an elevation towards the mountains. You can see the mountains right back there, really beautiful. But obviously, mentioned how like some of the palms died in some of the early freezes here. And I think it just warmed a lot around here. Obviously you've got almost like an urban heat island effect now. And just the garden itself, all this like crazy plant density has created a lot of, has created a real microclimate to the extent that, some of these younger palms now are surviving, obviously wouldn't have, but really, really impressive. Just the plantings here, some marginal species that are doing well here. Really, really amazing. I'm in the palm garden section right now, and obviously pretty amazing. Really cool. Look at this. Cyagrus russiana. So some sort of rare Cyagrus I've never heard of. Really, really cool. You can see these ancient Phoenix drobelini here. Really, really cool. Beautiful. Beautiful. These things are all over Southern California, but I've never seen. I've almost, I've seen very few at least that are this size. Really, really old ones here. Some of these plantings are newer, obviously, like this old Bismarckia here. You see this beautiful, like pinkish coloration. Really, really beautiful. These are obviously fully hardy here. But some of these plantings, some of the sables, and just a lot of the palms generally are ancient plantings. I think they're that old. So really, really impressive. This looks like a Copernicia. Look at this Bismarckia, just beautiful. Just so stunning. This looks like a Copernicia here. Really, really beautiful. It's got like saw teeth on there. Just amazing, amazing plantings. This is a Parotis palm, also known as an Everglades palm. A Coleorrhea wrightii, I think is the scientific name. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful species. And I believe this is one clump. This clump size is just crazy. Bismarckia here. Just the petioles alone on this palm are easily, 8 to 10 feet long. Crazy, huge Bismarckia. This is still a young one, but it's just beautiful. You can see the flowering Livistona up there. More Livistona, some Brahia and Butia, and more Copernicia. They've got quite a few of them planted up here. Really, really cool. So, yeah, the live stream yesterday was just a brief one. I'm gonna just do a little one here. Just wanted to do one today, walking through this garden. A little longer show to show you guys the plantings here, and if any of you guys are in there, I'd love to see you there. Look at these Caryota. Crazy, amazing. What a cool place. Just a gorgeous day here. Probably a bit below 70 degrees right now. Pretty dry. Just a perfect day. Look at the size of those Livistona. Those must be really old. Crazy. Really, really beautiful. Yeah. Really good to be down here. Good to see DC, although DC today was getting some crazy heat. They are hitting almost 90, especially with the humidity index. They get hit, around 90, and temperature-wise hit like 89 or something. So really, really nice and warm in DC. It's a really, really hot day there. And here a lot cooler, but it's just perfect. Look at these cycads. It has one of the most famous cycad collections in the world too, not just the palms. Butia across Cyagrus here. That's a really cool palm. Let's try to get over to the main path here. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. That's a Butia across Cyagrus. So you can just see, it really does kind of look like a Butia it actually looks exactly like what it says, but it looks like a Butia on steroids, and obviously with this sort of Cyagrus shape, just crazy. Look at this Caryota. Those leaves are like easily 30 feet long. Just a leaf. It's crazy. Hey, Palmy Pal, good to see you in there. How's it going? How's the weather where you are? Hopefully it is collaborating. Hopefully it's warming up where you are. Caryota gigas, giant fishtail. So these might be Caryota gigas, the giant one. Phoenix dactylifera, little one here. Yeah, you don't really want to mess with those spines. Those will take you out. You can see these Caryota here. Huge. Looks like a banyan there, maybe Morton Bay fig. Yeah, little jubea here. Caryota gigas. More Caryota gigas here. Huge Caryota there. And yeah. The cycad collection's really something here. Just beautiful. Weather is great here in the Carolinas. It was like 88 today. That is awesome. Nice and warm. Yeah, it was, I think, something around that, like in DC. So really crazy. It was like 82 or something, I think, the other day, like a week or so ago in DC, but supposed to hit close to 90 today, which is crazy, for several days, and then back into the 70s. So not bad at all. And look at all these cycads here. This is palm heaven and cycad heaven. That's what I love about this, is that it's got like one of the greatest palm collections, but you've got an amazing desert collection, cycads, various other groups of plants. Just the climate here is pretty ideal. And even though it's not tropical, there is such thing as a tropical desert, obviously, like where I was down in the southern end of the Baja California Peninsula, which can allow you to grow even more plants. There's plenty of, this sort of climate here also allows you to grow some cooler climate plants, some palms that do well in cooler climates, not in hot desert climates, like Hawaii, for example. So that's pretty cool. Beautiful royal palms there, Roystonia regia, one of my favorite palms. I'm in California, so I got here last Friday, I think, and then I'm here till Saturday, so I'm here for a little more than a week. Is that right? I got either Friday or Thursday night. I can't even remember. And if you see my videos, I started up in the Bay Area. I'm a little bit behind on uploading videos just because I've took so many, and I started up in the Bay Area and made my way down like over the last 2 or 3 days ago. Went down to Santa Barbara, then down to here in the LA area, and then down to San Diego. I think tomorrow. And plenty of more palms on the way. But I thought that royal palm was pretty cool up in Northern California. If you saw my video on that, obviously there's tons of cool palms up there, but it's pretty impressive. I think it's like 37 degrees north latitude, and there's a beautiful, it's obviously suffering a bit from the, abnormally cool winter they've had there, cold and rainy, but it'll look great by the end of summer, I'm sure. And it gets nice heat in there in San Jose in the summer. So way up there in the Bay Area, there is a beautiful, 25-foot royal palm, which is pretty impressive. Obviously here they do great. You can see these beauties here. There's some like 30-footers down that way, which I'll show you guys soon. And look at these ribbon palms, Livistona decora from East Queensland. What a beautiful species. Look at the size of that Caryota there. Unreal. This is the cycad. Unfortunately, they're doing like major renovations here, so a lot of the paths are closed, but I'm gonna make my way down here and check out this house here. Crazy. Yeah, so in California for a few more days, just soaking up the sunshine, then headed back to more beautiful weather, sounds like, in DC. 90 degrees it's hot. It's awesome. My palm should be growing a lot by the time I get home. Look at the size of this cycad. Beautiful. Yeah, no, I'm super excited about it. And just glad to be here. Really fun. Good way to spend spring break. Really awesome. California is just amazing. And the fact that, I can look right over there. See if I can just get it in shot. But you can look like right over there and see the mountains right behind the palms. That's one of the things I love, obviously. I like the southeast. There's some cool palms down there, but in Florida, but obviously there's no mountains in Florida. Here they've got 10,000-foot peaks right next to these tropical palms, which I think is pretty neat. I obviously love them. So this is a huge palm here. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what that is. That palm down there. See this one here with huge fronds that go down. Hope the quality's okay. Let me know if the camera quality and everything's coming through. This is the jungle section. It's like a tropical section. It's a stream going through there, and it's amazing. I was in the desert section, and it is literally like 15 degrees hotter than it is in here. So nice and cool in here. Beautiful, beautiful banyan trees there. Just gorgeous. Look at those roots. Crazy. Beautiful. You can see this Camedoria here. Rapis palms here. Rapis excelsa or some species. And Camedoria. It's a great understory species they got here. Look at this. Look at this. This is an example of a palm that you can, that you grow here that obviously you can't grow in warmer places. That might allow you to grow other palms. But there was something cool about Southern California's climate. I used to think, it was sort of like this middle zone climate. Like, it's obviously a great climate, but there's still plenty of tropical palms that it's just too cold for. But it's pretty cool that it allows you to grow. Like, this is obviously a very tropical looking palm, but it's actually native to quite a cool climate, and like people grow them in Florida. I've never heard of one looking like this in Florida. Usually they suffer from the humidity and stuff, so this is a perfect climate for them. And it actually gets a lot warmer here than by the coast. I think it averages probably in the 80s at least in summer here, but not too hot for them. It's dry, which is nice. Beautiful. This is Rapostylus sapida, the Nicao palm from New Zealand, the only palm native to mainland New Zealand. And again, it looks like one of the most tropical species I've ever seen, but it's not actually. It's actually a subtropical species. Native to, I don't even know if it's technically subtropical, but it's native to some very cool areas, sort of like, almost like a sort of south of Oregon coast ecosystem. Some very cool areas, cool climate-wise. Hey, Damian Dunaj, thanks for joining in. You have a good canal, good channel. Come from Poland. Awesome. I've talked to a few people from Poland before on my channel. That's awesome. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. It's probably late there in Poland. What time is it here? Oh wow, yeah, it's really late. So it's 3:40 Pacific time, which means it's 6:40 back on the East Coast. So it's probably like midnight in Poland or later. But I really appreciate you joining in. And I know there's some beautiful palms that people are growing in Poland. I don't know if there's anywhere warm enough to grow them unprotected, but definitely a good place to try palms out. And I know there's quite a few. There's several Polish palm YouTubers on, out there. So that's really, really cool. That's awesome. Thanks for joining in. A little bit different than Poland here. Different than my home area too. Pretty amazing. You can see those king palms way up there. Banyans, everything. Let's just read that. Thank you so much. Palmy Pal, my palms are loving the warm weather. I'm sure they are. Yeah. I mean, the Carolinas has such a cool climate. It's such an interesting climate generally. And I mean, you guys get a lot of warmth. So that is just awesome. I bet they're growing like weeds. That's awesome. Hi, great choice in locations. I love the Huntington. Hey, Gesh Market, thanks for joining in. Really appreciate that. And this is my third time to Huntington Gardens, and I see something new every time because it is so expansive. It is so big, and it's just a really cool place. One of the most amazing gardens I've ever been to. It's kind of like the Fairchild of the West Coast, and it's just got something different. Fairchild's a tropical garden. This is sort of a mixed. There's not as many tropical species here. Obviously, there's plenty. A lot of these are tropical, but you've also got one of the most amazing desert gardens I've ever seen. Amazing cycad collections. And just generally stuff that you can't really grow as much in like those brutally humid tropical climates. So beautiful, really, really cool. And it's such a dry place. It's literally like we're in the middle of a rainforest right now. It's pretty crazy. Have you located the Becario Phoenix Alfredi? Which one? The one here. I feel like I saw one earlier, but I'm sure there's some up here. Let's try to look for one. If they are here, I mean, I'm sure there are. There must be over this way. But here's a cycad. Cool stuff. Really cool. Really, really amazing. This is a palm too. Some sort of Camedoria. It doesn't even look like a palm really, but really, really neat. More Camedoria here. Beautiful. It feels like I'm in like a conservatory right now, but this is all outdoors. These are some Hawea right there. Another very tropical looking palm that doesn't really do well in Ketchup palm, Hawea forestrana, that does not really do well in really hot climates. So perfect for Southern California because it is a surprisingly cool climate. It's very mild, but it's very cool generally speaking. I had an iceberg Picaria Phoenix Alfredia. Really? You know what? I don't know much about their hardiness on the East Coast. They're generally very hardy palms, and I would think you could grow them at least in parts of South Carolina. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, are they hardy where you are? They might be more marginal palms. I don't know how hardy they are, but yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. This is a Ficus thinningi. The sign's broken for this one, but some sort of banyan, as you can see. More beautiful palms here. There's a Licala somewhere near here. One of my favorite kind of palms. So I'm gonna look for that. More banyans here. Crazy this is Southern California. Brachardia here. Brachardia Becariana from Hawaii, as most of the Brachardias are. Beautiful. Huge Washingtonia flifer there. Alfredia, yeah, exactly. If I remember correctly, there's an Alfredia with palms lawn area at that. So I'm gonna head there right now. That's right over here. I will look for that. There's the Licala right there. That palm right through there with those beautiful fan leaves. You can see. Let's check that out. Really cool. So they pruned it up quite a bit, but I mean, it looks good considering coming out of this cool, rainy winter. There's some surprisingly hardy Prochardias, hardy Licalas, excuse me. Look at that, some sort of Trachycarpus up there. Beautiful, beautiful palms. Really, really cool. Fascinating climate. Beautiful palms. Really neat. Look at the size of the Camerops here. Huge Camerop seamless. Crazy. That is just crazy. Wow. Guys. Yeah, I'm looking for that Beccaria Phoenix Alfredii. Yeah, they are hardy. I had a couple of videos. Oh, really? It did great throughout the winter outdoors, but I lost it due to... Oh, God, I'm sorry to hear that. Gosh, that really sucks. I would definitely try another one, because... So wait, where in the Carolinas are you again, Palmy Pal? You in North or South Carolina, by the coast or inland? I'm curious, because yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't really hear about them being grown there, but I would think it would be a great climate for them. They're such cool palms. I really, really love them. They're very, very tropical looking. They look a lot like coconuts, and yet they are quite hardy. Look at this Phoenix canariensis. Crazy tall palms. This is the sable section here. Look at this. Look at the trunk on this palm. Actually curves back up here. Some sort of crazy ancient phoenix. Massive sables there. Huge Butia Benettii. Wow, I've never even heard of that one. Crazy. You're near Charlotte. Oh, right. I remember you saying that previously. Yeah. So yeah, I would think they'd at least be marginally hardy there. So I would definitely try to get another one, but that really sucks. Is it like a palm? Is it like fusarium wilt? Because I wouldn't expect there to be any palm diseases up as far north as Charlotte. But yeah, maybe it's just some other thing. That really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I always hate losing palms. And you know what? I cut through two of the trunks of my trackies that spear pulled. Both of them were pushing out growth. I didn't want to make a video because it was such a minor, tiny little bit of growth. So I'm going to wait till I get back home after all this warm weather. They should really have a nice amount of growth out now. So that is awesome. But I mean, palms are tough, you know. They can really recover from some amazing freezes. Look at this sable minor here. One of the biggest sable minor I've ever seen. This one's got like a palmetto-like trunk, like a sable palmetto. Oh, this one is sable palmetto. See, no. These are sable minor. Sorry, excuse me. So this literally looks like a sable. See, what I'm confused about is this one looks like a sable minor, but this actually does look like a sable palmetto. Let me see these fronds. Yeah, this looks like a palmetto here, but the other ones look like sable minor. And this one I think is a sable minor. This one over here. People actually didn't believe it was a sable minor last time because it's just so tall. But I am convinced it's a sable minor. A lot of other sources have identified it as such, including the tag, of course. So yeah, look at this palm. Let me know what you think. It's literally got it's got like a Syagris or a Phoenix or something growing out of the trunk here. But Let me just sit on the hill for a second. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a sable minor or not? I'm pretty sure, because the fronds, it doesn't really look like it there, but the fronds are actually pretty flat, remarkably so. People suggest it might be a sable bermudiana, but these fronds are way too blue. If you just cut one of those fronds off, it looks exactly like a sable minor. And the trunk, I know, is insane, but you got to remember that these palms were planted like 100 years ago, and it gets surprisingly warm here. You know, a place like a Santa Monica along the coast is very cool, but I mean, yeah, it's crazy. The more you drive inland, the hotter it gets. Even on a day like this, it actually feels pretty warm. And in summer, it's definitely up in the 80s, probably frequently in the 90s. So this thing over 100 plus years, however long, it's gonna give it a lot of growth. And I would not be surprised if this is indeed a sable minor, even though it's kind of insane. And this palm literally has a cactus growing out of the trunk there. Crazy, or a euphorbia of some sort. I can't quite tell. Died late summer. Gosh, palmy palette, it really sucks. I'm sorry. Gosh. Not a palm, but there's a gorgeous, huge, variegated fig tree near the old mansion. Huh. You know what? I feel like I have seen that, but I haven't been to the mansion area in a long time. It's unfortunately it's closed for renovations right now, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get up there, because they've got some amazing royal palms up there too. Roystonia regia. So let's see if we can get up there. Just gonna sit here for a second. Yeah, I'm going to get another one once I find one for a good price. Good. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a minor. I think so too. It's pretty nuts. It looks like a young sable palmetto, but I think it's just an ancient sable minor. I mean, the fronds look just like a sable. Look at this frond. That looks just like a sable minor. Definitely not a sable bermudiana. Those things have highly costed palmate fronds. This is like barely costed palmate. It's just like a sable minor. Kind of hard to believe, but hey, I mean, I believe it. I believe it. This garden is known for producing some remarkable specimens. So, a pretty cool place to be. Good. Awesome. Yeah, palmy palette. I can't wait to hear about that. And yeah, it's awesome. Looks like a minor to me too. Yeah, exactly. I think it is, but it's just crazy, the size of this palm. Crazy. All right, let me start walking here. Let's look for that Beccari Phoenix. I don't know how much time I have, because these gardens are huge, so I don't want to just wander off, but just briefly give you guys a quick look into the desert garden here. I mean, the desert garden itself is huge, probably like 5 acres at least. Probably a lot more than that, actually. But you can see just all these cacti, succulents in there. More huge sable minor there. Brahia, this is a sable mexicana here. Sable, one of these is a sable domingensis, I'm pretty sure. Is it dominigensis? I don't know. Wow, saw palmetto, Serrano repens. I have a baby one of these, but this is just, look at this fruit on it. This is just an ancient specimen. Jeez. Huge thing. Pretty impressive collection here. Look at this. This is some sort of Prochardia, I think. More over here. Looks like a Dipsis, maybe. It's like an ancient Dipsis Dicarii. I'm not sure. Here's one of the Dipsis, or it's been changed into a different genus now, but it's I forget what it's called. There's one of these in DC that's in a pot, but it is huge. Look at the size of that. It's got that reddish crown shaft. Beautiful palm. Look at the size of that. I think that's a Jubaeops caphora with the yellow petioles. Huge cycad. Look at this. Look at the cycad there. Look at these just banyans and everything. So I'm gonna look for that Beccari Phoenix, but I have not seen it so far. You can see the palm grass here. This stuff's not actually a palm, but it's amazing how much it looks like. It looks just like a palm. I'm pretty sure it's just palm grass though. Crazy bamboo. Yes, the rolls are gorgeous. They added. Yes, exactly. I saw those two at the beginning. Yeah. Hey, Insect Wildlife. Thanks for joining in. I remember when they just had one royal palm growing that was kind of great. Yeah, exactly. No. They've got at least 5 that I've seen up by the mansion area. I've seen a number of them here in Southern California already. Really impressed with that. You know, I really wish they were planting more here, because they're just such a beautiful species, and they do so well here. But there are a few around, which is nice. I'm so happy I found your live stream, found your videos in the stream special. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you joining in. And yeah, no, this is I try to do a live stream pretty frequently, although I'm not usually in such a beautiful setting as this. This is a pretty insane setting, as you guys can see. My profile picture, in fact, for my channel was taken right near here. But it is a pretty special place. Yeah, it's really appreciate you joining in. Let's take a look around here. This is another Jubaeus capra here. This is like just massive palm. You want to make sure you got room in your yard for that before you plant it. That would not fit in my backyard. It's a huge palm. Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. And if you may not know, I live in. I'm not blessed to live in Southern California. I wish, but I am. I do live in Maryland, which is cool for zone pushing because it honestly has given me good experience. Growing things in colder climates, which I think is pretty fun. And yeah, I've got some palms up there in Maryland, and I make videos usually about the palms around the DC area. There's some cool palms around DC, believe it or not. As cold as it is, but coming here is just a real treat. Seeing all these crazy palms. Crazy. Look at these banyans. Look at this roots. Those cavers take forever. Yes, I bet those are really old palms. Let me sit here for just a second. Read through the comments for a second while I show you guys the palms there. Those cavers take forever. That shows us how long the garden. Yes. I know. Crazy how long this garden's been around. The size of some of these palms, just amazing. A lot of the botanic gardens just have not been around this long, so you won't see specimens that old. It takes a lot of investment, a lot of watering, a lot of care to get palms this size, and a lot of them look good. The thing, especially here in Southern California, with that sort of dry soils they have here, is that you gotta fertilize them a lot. You gotta fertilize the palms, which is something that with wild, it's like the additional piece of the care. So yeah, there's a whole process to it, but I really admire people that have taken care of this garden for so long. And yeah, really crazy. Just so impressive to sit here and look at this. Literally looks like a rainforest. Look at this. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Really appreciate you doing that, Geshmaki. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate the donation. And yeah, that's so nice. You're the first person that's donated, because I just recently reached my monetization level. I think you need 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch hours and whatnot. And so it's just recently able to monetize and add that feature. So I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And my money is usually used for what I save away is usually used for buying palms and adding to my own collection. So and then which obviously makes for additional videos. So you're helping contribute to that. Really appreciate that. And that means a lot. Thank you so much. Really nice. Yeah. Really cool. Just gonna head over here. Yeah, but I wonder where that Becario Phoenix is. The elusive Becario Phoenix. Somewhere over there, probably. Here, maybe I'll go check for that at the end. To head over here towards the library to look for the ficus that you mentioned and go see those royal palms, because those are pretty impressive. Here's sort of the jungle area. It feels so nice out right now. Perfect weather. Huge bamboo and everything. Really amazing. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. This is awesome. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you so much for joining in. I mean, yeah, as I say, I try to do live streams pretty often, but not too often am I in a place, as amazing as this. So it's a really special experience. Really cool. Every time, yeah, I try to get out here, and I was just in the area, so I thought, of course, why not stop by Huntington? It is just a pretty impressive collection, and the size and scope of this garden is really crazy. Just a massive collection. beautiful Brachardia there, and lots of cool young palms here. I'm gonna actually, there it is, it's up there, the rainbow eucalyptus, one of the coolest species out there, the only tropical species of eucalyptus, one of only 4 eucalyptus not native to Australia. It's native to the Philippines, Indonesia, that area of tropical Southeast Asia, and really, really cool. So it is tropical. It's got this crazy bright colored bark, but it grows here in Southern California in this cool Mediterranean climate. So pretty impressive. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you joining in the live stream. Always, I always try to, especially when I'm in a place like this, try to share. But if you join back in a future weekend, I may be doing a live stream at the Arboretum or some palmy place around DC. So there's certain gardens in DC even with a lot of palms, a lot of cool plantings. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I try to put out videos daily, especially on this trip. I've been putting out like a bunch of every day because I'm trying to keep them flowing and everything. Lots of good content out here, obviously. So really, really cool. Look at this rainbow eucalyptus. Isn't that awesome? Especially with the sunlight. Just a beautiful, beautiful tree. So tropical looking because, of course, it is tropical. And I wonder if this grows up in the Bay Area. I've never heard of any there, but they seem decently tolerant of cold. Obviously fully hardy here, so I'd be curious. I'm guessing the conventional wisdom is no, but conventional wisdom also says you can't grow a royal palm up in the Bay Area. But there's some growing, including one I just made a video of. So, it's impressive what you can grow up there. The area's obviously been altered a lot by human development and stuff. You've now got obviously urban heat islands, stuff like that. So the microclimates, it's basically been, a lot of the Bay Area was like a swamp previously. And then you got a lot of hills, so it makes for microclimates. There's a whole grove of Arcanta Phoenix right there. King palms, really impressive. Have you ever been to Los Angeles? No, I've not been to the County Arboretum. Nothing compared to Huntington, but yes, no, for sure. And I know there's some huge sable minor there. There are some really, really impressive collections there of some rare palms as well. And I know it's actually nearby. I was thinking about going there potentially, but we just came to Huntington instead because I figured I've never done a live stream here, so I wanted to share it with you guys in real time. But no, I think maybe in a future trip I will check that out. I've never been, but I know there's like some pretty famous locations there. I think that have been used for movies and stuff. So it's a pretty cool place, and I've seen lots of pictures of it online. So I hope to one day go there. But there's lots of cool gardens around Southern California. Look at the cycad, by the way. To check out. So on future trips, hopefully I'll make it there. And there's also some cool botanic gardens up in the Bay Area. Maybe on a future trip I'll check out. I mean, California in general, it's just got such an interesting variety of microclimates. Really, really cool. Yeah, let's head up and check out the Royals. I'm gonna go this way. So this is getting into the cycad collections, which, as I mentioned, is lizard right there. Lizards everywhere here. This is one of those famous cycad collections, probably in the world. Again, I honestly don't know much about. I know generally a lot of cycads, I would say more of them come from dry climates as compared to palms. And I would assume the majority of them are hardy here. I think there's like 256 species of cycads or something like that. It's like a tenth of the number of species of palms. So it's not crazy. Like, it's almost like you could plant it in a normal sized yard, all the species. But I don't know about hardiness. Like, I would assume there are some that are maybe not hardy here, but I would think the majority of them are hardy here. So that just, explains why they got so many here. So many different varieties and species I've never heard of cycad. And this one in particular, look at the size of this cone. It's like a 4-foot cone. Look at that. Crazy. Really, really impressive. But yeah, I am getting into palm planting season, so I will absolutely use that money to get some new palms. And I'm looking forward, this season especially. I'm going to probably be trying some different stuff out in the DC area, expanding my cactus garden, adding probably trying some hardier eucalyptus, and then obviously planting some new palms. I'm going to be planting my saw palm meadow this spring. Try to get another Mazzari palm if I can. Just generally, yeah. So let's check this out. So I don't know where the variegated ficus is, but if I can, it might be on the other side of the house. Unfortunately, the entire area is fenced off such that I can't even really see the other side. So this might be the only side we get advantage of. But let's just check this out from over here. I was reading about this tree. It's now I'm already forgetting the name of it, but it's one of this. It's a conifer from Queensland something it's called, and it's the tallest of its kind in California, 112 feet tall. And it has like broadleaf leaves, but it's actually a conifer, believe it or not. Just fascinating. No needles on it. I never would have guessed it was a conifer, but I was reading there's a plaque under it. Very, very impressive tree. And then not only is there this beautiful house here with these crazy cycads, looks like a massive southern magnolia, but of course you got those stunning, stunning royal palms. So this just goes to show you, here they get the summer heat, cool winters, dry. It's, nothing like where they're native. It's a Mediterranean climate here, as I mentioned, but it is, there's a whole debate. Like, do palms like this thrive in a climate, or do they merely survive? I would call these thriving palms. I mean, sure, they're not growing as fast as they would in their native habitat, but they're growing, and they're not showing any signs of damage or anything like that. Really, really just spectacular palms. This one especially is just huge. And even in Southern California, I know they grow pretty fast, so that's just awesome. If I ever lived here, I would definitely be planting some royal palms. I think there's like 8 species of royal palm or something, so there's quite a few of them to try out. This is just the most common one, the Roystonea regia. Common royal palm, the Florida or Cuban royal palm. This looks like the Cuban variety. The Florida one's really, really skinny trunk, but it's got these beautiful white rings on the trunk, kind of like cement, and then it's got this beautiful green crown shaft. Just one of the most stunning palms in my opinion. So your guys' comments. Have you thought of having an agave plant? Yes, absolutely. I absolutely have. What are some? I know agave perii is a fully hardy species in our climate. There's agave americana is pretty marginal, but there's definitely some hardy agaves. I would love to get some. Hopefully this season, yeah. Hopefully I'm going to be expanding my cactus garden, my second, I guess I could call it my dry climate garden, and that will be among the species I will be searching for. Definitely want to try an agave out. There's some big ones at the Arboretum in DC. Some of them were completely fried after our low of around 7 degrees this year, although it wasn't as cold in that area, but it probably hit below 10. And it's like, I think they were agave americana. They were completely fried, completely mush. And then some of them look flawless, like the agave perii and whatever other hardy species they have there. And they have some other cool species I've never heard of that survive the winter. So really impressed by that. There's quite a few agave that can grow where we are. Same with cacti. We of course have native cacti in Maryland, in the DC area as well. So definitely gonna be trying some of those. Yeah. Ficus in the back of the mansion, in the paved area where the stairs are. Yes. Oh yeah, it's like here. Paved area. Yes. That absolutely makes sense. That's right over here. Unfortunately, it is roped off at a certain point, but I'm going to see if I can check that out. And then as for the Alfredii, I would love to find one. I haven't seen any Parajubea either. I'm sure they're here, but they probably have, I think the statistic's somewhere online, but they have hundreds of species of palms. I don't know if it's 200 or 500, but quite a few. And I'm sure they're always expanding it. There's a lot of young species they're trying out, which is really cool. I heard they had some Juania australis, Juania australis is a species from these islands off the coast of Chile, and I know there's some huge ones in San Francisco. Generally, they hate the heat, and then inland here it actually gets pretty hot in summer. But I heard they had some growing in the shade here that were at least surviving, and I don't know if they're still here or not. I haven't seen them, but that'd be pretty impressive because they're very hard palms to grow. Even here in Southern California, it is too hot for them. They're very tropical looking too. And there's huge ones like in places like Ireland. That's like a perfect climate for them. They love those cool climates. They don't like those hot summer climates or tropical climates. They hate Florida, absolutely no chance. Oh wow, yeah, I can see the variegation. So unfortunately I can't go in there because it's all closed, but that is just beautiful. So this is the variegated ficus here, some sort of banyan. You can see the sort of whitish, looks like half white, half green leaves. That's what the variegation is. I think it's caused by like a lack of chlorophyll, but I'm not exactly sure. It's got these beautiful white trunk as well. Just gorgeous. So I think this was Henry Huntington's private mansion. I mean, not a bad location. Look at that. You can see all the hills over there in Los Angeles or towards LA. Unbelievable. Here's the Arcanta Phoenix Grove here. There's 2 of the younger royal palms doing really well. Completely green, of course. Just beautiful. Great cycad collection as well. Really spectacular. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, there's the variegated ficus. That's awesome. If I if I could grow them, I'd definitely be searching for variegated. I've been looking for, well, I mean, I'm sure they're crazy expensive. I don't know of any for sale, but if any of you guys know of any variegated sable minor needle, I've seen variegated needle palm. I've never seen variegated sable minor, but I'm sure it exists somewhere. Variegated sable minor needle palm or Tricharpus fortunae. I would love to try those out in the DC area. I think if I had a variegated trachea, I would definitely protect it because that is something that even though they're pretty hardy in DC, I wouldn't risk it. But the other two can go unprotected. I would definitely want to try that. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. Glad you found the ficus. Yes. It's so beautiful. Gosh, that's just awesome. I love those ficus, those banyan trees. Just awesome. Look at this. Look at this Chamaedorea with all the fruit on it. Beautiful. This is just like heaven for me. Palm heaven, as they say. Look at that. Arconta Phoenix Grove. Really awesome. So, hey, Albuquerque palm trees. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. Just here at Huntington Gardens. What a spectacular place. Birds of paradise, everything. How's the weather in Albuquerque? I think it was, what's his name? New Mexico Lightning and Storms, who posted about the crazy temperature drop you guys were having. It was like 70 degrees one day and then down to like 19 degrees or something insane. But hopefully the weather's warmed up a bit in Albuquerque. And I know even when it's like in the 30s in Albuquerque, it really doesn't feel that bad because the sun is so powerful there. But hopefully it's warmed up a bit. It's probably a nudge below 70 degrees right now, probably maybe 67, 68 or something. Nice breeze going through, just perfect right here. But and DC, by the way, is, as I mentioned earlier, is supposed to hit around 90 degrees today. So crazy warm. And then back in the 80s tomorrow, and yesterday as well, it was in the 80s. But that is just, yeah. Hopefully your guys' winter storm's over. Are you guys getting snow? Yeah. Speaking of snow, I actually, you can't see it on these mountains here. There's mountains through there, but those are the San Gabriel Mountains. But further down the mountain range, when we were driving, we did see snow on the mountains over there. So it's kind of crazy that it's still in April, and it is so beautiful out. But just, right up the mountains, it's cold and snowy up there. Let's head down here, try to go back through the grove. Albuquerque Palms just shared this with everyone previously. This beautiful rainbow eucalyptus here. Isn't that stunning? Look at that thing. Just beautiful. Look at the bark on that. It's just such a beautiful species. The only tropical eucalyptus species. And grows well here, yeah. Grows really well here. So even though this is not a tropical climate, lots of tropical species you can grow here. Palms, ficus, all sorts of stuff. So it's really interesting. It's just a fascinating climate. I think it is the most comfortable climate for humans, A place like Florida, and of course I love some amazing palms in Florida, but I went there in March, and this sun, it is just brutal there. I got such a bad sunburn. My arms were like peeling. It was kind of painful. And that was literally, it was still technically winter, because it was remember, spring break last year. And it was beautiful. I definitely go again, but definitely wear sunscreen is my recommendation there. It's just brutally hot here. Whereas coastal Southern California, inland it gets crazy. It gets like 115 or something. But here by the coast, it stays in the 70s in summer. Dry, breezy, just beautiful. Look at that view. Look at that view out there. Crazy. Nice waterfall here. Thanks for joining in, Albuquerque palm trees. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it was cold over here, but 80 degrees on Sunday. Wow, 80 degrees. That must have been beautiful. Jeez. I don't even know if it's hit 80 degrees in LA yet. I'm trying to think. I don't know, yeah. I bet it has here because it's hotter inland here. But that's crazy. Will you keep this live stream posted for a while? The live stream will be, all the live streams I do are posted on my channel. So if you go to my videos, stream. So I did one yesterday for about 30 minutes. Only one person joined in because it was just a brief one, just while I was doing a quick walk around. But you can click on all my live streams. They're all public, all posted, and I will always keep them up. As long as YouTube continues, all my videos will remain posted. Absolutely. All those palms will remain viewable. Look at these banyans here. Just crazy. I mean, it's just this literally looks like the conservatory at the Botanic Gardens in DC, except we're outdoors. And it's breezy, it's dry, it's beautiful. crazy. Crazy, crazy. Gosh, wow. Beautiful species over here. Yes, but absolutely, I'll keep it posted, and I will be doing more in the future. Yeah, so stay tuned. And I usually try to post my live stream ahead of time. This time again, I just came here and I just started streaming. But usually, I will like post an update a couple hours beforehand, saying I'll be doing a live stream from this place in a couple hours to give people a little bit of notice in advance. And yeah, I always appreciate you. I mean, it's really nice. I can just, at this point, I have enough subscribers, I can just live stream. You know, I remember my first live streams, I would just start and no one would come on. So that's why I started doing the notifications. But now, you know, I can just start live streaming, people will join on, which is awesome. But usually I like to give people in advance because I know how annoying that is if someone does a live stream and you miss out on it because you didn't know. So I always try to give people a little bit of notice in advance. Look at this. Look at this pandanus here. Just beautiful. Beautiful, tropical looking. I mean, it is tropical. All pandanus, I believe, are of truly tropical origin. Crazy. Look at this size of this leaf. It's like a 5 foot tall leaf. Cycads. Look at the size of these. Beautiful. So let me get to this. Hey, Cal, thanks for joining in. How's the weather in London? Hopefully it's nice. I know you guys were getting some really beautiful weather. And again, I know I say this every time, but for those of you who don't know, London has some incredible palms, you know, way far north of where I live in DC, but much milder. They got Canary Island day palms, washies, and, you know, so many things that you'll see around here, actually. So really, really impressive. That's just amazing. Sun is strong here. UV is at 12. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the UV is here, but it feels pretty strong. I actually got sunburned the last couple of days, pretty minorly, you know, compared to, I mean, having gone to Florida, you know, every sunburn I get now is minor, but still, you know, it is pretty strong, even when it's like in the 50s and sunny. But it always warms up. You know, all these days have been in the 60s, and right now it's a little bit below 70. So beautiful. Look at this Lacala, one of my absolute favorite palms, and there's some really hardy ones that grow here, which is awesome. Look at those beautiful fronds there. Looks like a hat or something, or a bowl. I don't know. I mean, it's just amazing. It's a complete leaf. You know, it looks like it was almost like cut around the edges, but that's just how it grows naturally. And it looks like they over-trimmed, or they trimmed off some of the other fronds. I don't know if it had damage or what, but yeah, and again, this is not the mildest area of Southern California. We're at quite a bit of elevation here. You can see the mountains, the hills over there. But it is, generally speaking, a pretty mild climate for Southern California. Not the mildest, though. You know, the areas by the coast are considerably milder. Probably gets at least, you know, 5 degrees colder here. Oh, excellent. I'm going to share this link. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Getting the word out about the palms. And yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, usually I'm making videos about the palms back in DC. And yeah, I mean, just remember, you can grow palms almost anywhere that people live year round. You can grow palms, you know, as long as you've got some sort of warm period. You can protect them, you can box them in. And in DC, places like DC that are cold, you can still grow palms unprotected. But obviously here in Southern California, you know, grow palms, you know, a lot more species, obviously. Huge caryota there. Look at this, the inflorescence on that is probably about 15 feet tall. Huge. Look at how skinny this Camedoria is, by the way. Caryota, the half the tag's broken off. I don't know which species this is, but I'd love to know. Look at this Camedoria, by the way. So skinny. It's like a bamboo trunk way up there. It's probably like 20 feet tall or more. Look at that. And some Hawea behind it. That's a species that probably, at least in the mildest of microclimates in the UK, is probably growable, which is really, really cool. Look at the desert garden down there is absolutely nuts. I'm actually gonna head over there right now. So there's so many there's an Australian garden with all the eucalyptus and Australian palms. There's a Japanese garden. There's, I don't know there's plenty of other areas of the botanic garden that I just don't have time to make it to, but maybe in a future visit. Really cool. I went there earlier, checked it out. It was really, really neat. These camerops are at least 20 feet tall. Some of the biggest I've ever seen. Look at the size of that. This is one clump of camerops. That is probably like at least 80 years old. Really, really cool. Huge, huge palms. Lots of Livistona, of course, Phoenix, all that stuff. I'm gonna go over here, try to look for that Bracario Phoenix. Speaking of Phoenix. I'm at 28 degrees north at the moment. Oh, wow. Christmas palm at the moment. Oh my gosh. Are you in the Canary Islands by chance? Christmas palm at the moment is 100-foot robusta. My gosh. Geez, it sounds like you're in Southern California. Although we're out here, I think it's like 34 degrees north. So decently far north, you know, not that much lower than DC. But really, really impressive. Here's some sables. Gosh, where's that Becario Phoenix? It's gotta be somewhere around here. Gosh, I would think it's like over here. Maybe. I don't know. Really, really cool. Let's try to head over here, actually. Hey, cool guy. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate that. Where are you joining us from at the moment? Love those palms. Love your videos. Oh, Bucky Dog Games Palm Trees. Really appreciate you joining in. I watched some of your videos. Where are you in Albuquerque? If I'm not mistaken, as well. There's quite a few Albuquerque YouTubers now, which is awesome. Albuquerque palm YouTubers, which I love, because Albuquerque is just a fascinating place, palm-wise. Oh my gosh, it's like a DC garden here. Look at this. You got the trusty sable miner. Can't go wrong with that. Actually, it's like tucked in here. You can see the sable miner here. These huge fronds, and then of course, you got the beautiful, beautiful needle palm here. Look at the size of this. The needles are like in sheaths here. It's like it's got a scarf on or something. This must be ancient. Crazy. Look at the size of this needle palm. Look at these trunks. Look at the trunks. First of all, look at the size of this frond. And second of all, look at the size of this trunk here. It goes along the ground like vertically. But from the actual palm, they actually cut down the main trunk of this needle palm. But this is the biggest needle palm I've ever seen. Because first of all, look at the size of the sable miner. The sable miner is taller than me. But then in here, look at this. This is all one needle palm, I believe. And it's crazy. Oh my God. This trunk's like 6 feet tall or something. 6 feet long, extending out here. Crazy. That's awesome, Cal. Those palms, love your videos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And yeah, no, I mean, I'm loving things right now because I'm down here in Southern California. Actually about, what is it right now? About 20 degrees colder than it is in DC. So pretty unusual, but believe it or not, it is 20 degrees colder than it is in DC. DC is about 90 degrees today, Fahrenheit. Really, really hot in DC and humid. But here, nice and mild. Really, really love it. That's awesome, Cal. Last week it was over 100 Fahrenheit. Wow. Today was 80 and humid. Oh, wow, that's hot. Yeah. No, it's about 60, probably 68 or something right now, and dry. Just a quick, so you are on the Canary Islands. That's awesome. Just a quick question. What is your favorite palm? You know what? I wouldn't say I have one favorite palm. And part of the reason is because there's probably hundreds, if not 1,000 palm species I've never even heard of or seen. You know, this garden's huge and it's got so many palms. It probably has, a couple hundred species of palms, and there are about 2,500 species out there. So, as far as as far as palm species go, there are a lot that I've never heard of or seen. So, I can't fully make that decision. One of my favorites, I love royal palms, Roystonia, especially Roystonia regia. I mean, that's the most common one. Just gorgeous, gorgeous palms. Obviously, of course, I love coconuts because they are just stunning. They're stunning palms. Gosh, I mean, there's so many different species. I love Licala palms. I forgot the common name for them, but there's one I just showed you guys about 5 minutes ago, over there. Look at the size of these needle palms. I love needle palms because they are beautiful and they're just so hardy. So, but look at this. This is a sable miner. This is legitimately a sable miner. No joke. That is actually a sable miner. And look at the trunk on this. Not only is it huge, but it's literally twisting over and back. That is insane. I've never actually been to the side here. I'm glad I made it over here. Let's look over here. So nice with the breeze right now. Here from South Carolina. Awesome, awesome. We got another Carolinian in here. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in ABQ. Awesome. I've been growing palms for about 4 years. Wow, that's awesome. You're 13. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no. That's really, really cool. I'm still in high school too. So it's 13 in high school. I'm trying to think. But yeah, that's awesome. It's good to have more young palm people in here. Obviously, it's great to have experienced, seasoned palm growers as well. But I'm glad to see some of the youth energy in the palm community. You know, it's good to see that the people are getting into that. And I think more people nowadays than ever are aware of palms growing in colder climates, even if it's, you know, still very, very few. You know, I wish there were more palms around DC, but it's still cool that there's people growing them. Kenchiopsis oliviformis, beautiful species. Sorry, I was rotating that for a second. Look at this, literal several cactus species, including a barrel growing out of the trunk of this butia. This is like butia alley down here. Oh, here's the Becario phoenix. Gosh, I've been looking for these things. There's another one there. Gosh, wow. I've never been to this part of the palm garden. I'm glad I checked it out. Look at this. Finally made it to the Becario phoenix. Just beautiful. These must be the Alfredii. This isn't even a cactus garden, but you can see these sprouting up. I think these are actually euphorbia, if I'm not mistaken. Not actually cacti, but cactus lookalikes. Beautiful Becario phoenix there as well. Edgeless cross Brandegii Brahia hybrid. This looks like a just ancient Mazzari palm. This thing is huge. Crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, those Alfredii are beautiful. This is, of course, they're fully hardy here, so this is a great climate for them. Let's get back to those comments, shall we? Here from South Carolina. That's awesome. Awesome you're growing palms in Albuquerque. There's some beautiful palms there. Actually, if you go to the community tab of my channel, I made a post about a map that I made. I made a map of all the palms I know of in Albuquerque, just for fun, because it's really cool. It's interesting to me. So check that out. I have a map of all the palms around Albuquerque. Look at these needle palms here. Massive. Cool cycad they got here. Samia furfacea from Mexico. Really cool. Mexico is just such an interesting place. Look at these. This looks like a corypha or something. I'm gonna start to get to these comments first, then I'm gonna get to that. South Carolina, CIDP, they're awesome. I bet they are, yeah. Same here, they're just crazy. Ancient. And they are just massive. Yeah, let me try to find one. Yeah, the Canary Island Day palms here in Southern California. Check out my video of the ones in Berkeley. Those are probably nearly 100 feet tall, if not 100 feet. Huge. I mean, obviously they're huge where you are because you're in the native place of the Canary Island Day palms. So that is really cool. That is really cool. I almost forgot that they were native there for a second, but of course they are. That is awesome. If you had to move to California or Florida, which one would you go to? Oh, for the palms? Well, there's a lot of factors I consider. You know, obviously a huge factor of mine is like geography. You know, I love Florida, and Florida actually has tropical climate, which California does not have. But just in terms of factors, you know, I like the fact that there's mountains here. Florida doesn't have that. Obviously, Florida has mangroves. Florida has all sorts of incredible stuff that California doesn't have. But I love the mountains. I love the topography, the geography. I'm literally looking at snow right now. That is, I don't know if you can quite see that, but there's a mountain range there. You can sort of see the bluish green thing. And then the white over it, the top there is snow. So I'm sure the camera quality is bad, but hopefully you can see that. Really, really cool. So there's snow there. So I love the geography. And in terms of comfort level, again, as I mentioned, I went to Florida in March and I got horribly sunburned. It was so hot and humid. I can still handle that, but the climate here is just perfect year round. You know, it's between like the average highs are between basically 65 and 75 or even 70 by the coast the entire year. So on a human scale, that is more comfortable. For palms, I honestly don't know which is better. Like if I'm just judging which place you can grow more palms in, I would be inclined to say South Florida. But here you can grow so many. I'm looking at multiple species right now. The Brahia, the Hedycype, which is a species from North Africa. So many different species, and also plants like Arapilostylus, the Nicau palm, the Hawea, you know, and various other species, Juania, for example, which does better in Northern California than Southern California. But so many plants from cooler climates, sort of like like Northern California, that won't grow in Florida. So there's a lot that you can grow because California is cool and dry, and then Florida is, you know, hot and humid. So both of those climates have their advantages. The other disadvantage of Florida, climate-wise, is that they get those bad freezes. There's really bad freezes that basically have hit the entire East Coast. There's no mountain range keeping the cold out of Florida, whereas there's mountains everywhere here. So the cold just does not hit the same way here as it does in Florida. You know, palms get slammed in Florida. You know, you basically, if you're going by the averages, you should be able to grow royal palms no problem in Jacksonville and coconuts no problem in Orlando. And there are both of those species in both places, but they can both get knocked out in a bad freeze. So I sort of say that, you know, I mean, it's true anywhere. Like we should be able to grow Trachycarpus no problem in DC, but the bad freezes can take them out. So I really don't know. Personally, I'd probably rather live here for palm growing because it's also a cool place to zone push. They're both cool for zone pushing, but especially here, just the dry climate. You know, you can sort of zone push with coconuts and stuff. And if you've checked my videos, there are some beautiful coconut palms down here in Southern California. But you know, that said, both places have their advantages, and I wouldn't really say one necessarily allows you to grow more palms than the other that I'm aware of. I'm sure there is actually a definitive answer, but again, so many palms are marginal in both places that it's not really clear to me. But that's my long answer to that. Sorry for that. Sorry for that palm rant. Let me get back to your guys' comments. Wow. Oh god. Sorry. CIDP are massive. Yeah. Visiting Washington D.C. Could you kindly let me know where the palm trees are growing there? Well, gosh, I should send you the palm map that I have. I have a map of all the palms in D.C. You know what? Plants and games. Where the palm trees are growing. So if you go to the National Mall, go to the any of the Smithsonian gardens have palms there. If there's any specific palms that you know of and you want to know the location of that I have videos of, comment on the video that I have of that palm and I'll let you know the location. But that's awesome that you're going to DC. Some great palms there, yeah. Palms are growing there. What temperature is it at night there? Low tonight in the 70s. Yeah, no, we are not that warm here in Southern California. It's low here tonight, probably like 50 or something, maybe high 40s. By the coast, it's definitely warmer. But I should forget what the lows are, but it is chilly at night here. It really cools off quickly and warms up quickly too. Visiting Washington, D.C. Yeah, but I'll get back to you on that plants and games. But comment on any of my videos if you want to know specific locations of specific palms. I am trying to finish the map that I have of all the DC palms. So if you're not going for a couple of weeks, then I'll finish that map and I'll send it to you. I can send it to you anyways, but it's not completed right now. Have you tried growing roaster regia at your house? No, so I do not live here, unfortunately. I live in the cold northeast of Maryland. So Roystoni regia, unfortunately, does not stand a chance there. But if I lived here, I would definitely be growing them. There's some beautiful ones here at Huntington. Streets here have so many different varieties of palms, all true trouble. Yes, for sure. The climate there is kind of similar to where I was in Mexico, in Cabo San Lucas, just down the coast from here. Although it is actually cooler in the Canary Islands, which both has advantages and disadvantages. Probably more advantages in terms of like cooler climate plants you can grow. You can probably grow Hawea and stuff like that in the Canary Islands, which is really, really cool. I would love to live there if it weren't for, well, obviously I don't speak Spanish, and also, the obvious reason is that, I would obviously have to move there, and then it's on an island. It's so far from everything else, but I do love the climate there. It's really, really cool. Just one of the best climates in the world, maybe the best. Wow, that Alfredo, yeah, the Alfredi look great here. Sorry for spamming. Visiting DC. Yeah, no worries. Just plan a camera off stay in ABQ. We'll plan. Awesome. Yes. Oh, sorry. I saw your email that you sent me. The different palms you have. Camera ops should be fully hardy there. I know of several around town. And the Sable Bermudana, that's a really good one to zone push. There's some beautiful Sable Bermudana here, so definitely really cool. Keep us posted on that. Visiting. There are CWP pure plant in the 1600s. That is crazy. And of course, there's native ones. So they're still alive from the 1600s. That's crazy. Plants and games. So, well, if you're in DC right now, I would say, go to the Smithsonian Castle, if you know where that is, and go to the Hoped Garden, Haupt. Search up Hoped Garden. Go down there, check out the Tricharpus palm there. There's also needle palms there. Go to the U.S. Botanic Garden, check out the Sable Minor and stuff there. There's lots of palms planted outside in front of the Smithsonian museums. The same latitude as Orlando. Here's and there's less pollution. See the sun. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I know. That's good. You don't sunburn easily. I sunburn pretty easily, so yeah. The sunburn in Orlando the sun is just very strong in Orlando, unfortunately. I bet it's not as strong in the Canary Islands, but it sounds like the UV is pretty intense. I'm in DC right now. So also go to the corner of S Street and S and First Street Northwest, I think it is, and go on a few houses down on S Street. I think it's like 75 S Street. That's where the huge trachy's growing, if you want to know where that is. And go to the zoo. Also, the zoo has palms. If you search up Washington Zoo, the National Arboretum, that's also some of the most famous palms. Go to the Arboretum, check out the Asian Valley section. They got the huge needle palm there. There's lots of different palms around DC. Made it to the live stream, DC5V. Thanks for joining in. Great to have you on here. Palm trees are growing. I plan on watching any flipper seeds. Hey, 1 or 2 weeks ago, today sometime. That's awesome. That's awesome. They germinate so quickly. That's great to hear. That's amazing. I'm in the Northwest, which is a tropical wet season and dry season climate. It's green. Tomorrow I'm going down to the desert though. Oh yeah, that's the other cool thing is the Canary Islands are sort of like a slightly cooler version of cooler climate-wise version of Hawaii. Whereas you got like desert, you got rainforest. I'm assuming there's rainforest, and you got just a crazy climatic diversity, which allows you to grow a huge variety of stuff. So that's just insane. Yeah, it's so cool. Do you know the neighborhood where tall palm trees are growing in people's backyards? The neighborhood I go to is what's it called? Anyways, somewhere along 14th Street. I don't have the locations on me right now, but if you go to like 13th and Euclid, and just sort of go from 13th and Euclid, head east on Euclid. There's a house there with tons of palms, including the Sable Birmingham, which is a really cool one. If you go to, I think it's P and 14th Street, there's a huge needle palm. Gosh, that area has like 8 different palms, but a lot of them are just scattered in people's yards. The tallest one in DC, again, it's if you go to around 72 S Street, and you will find that palm. S Street Northwest, that is. So yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. I didn't realize you're there right now. Yeah, and speaking of green, it is so green in California right now. Obviously you can tell it's green here because they water everything, but just driving through the hills, it is so lush and green because they've had so much rain lately. I asked people around here and they're... Oh, yeah, I know. Most people there are completely unaware of it. Yeah, either go to the Smithsonian, go to the Arboretum, or go to one of the locations, as mentioned. Those Pinto palms are beautiful. Makes me miss mine. Yes. I heard about yours. You should definitely try another one because you got a very good climate for them. Obviously you can get those bad freezes sometimes, but generally speaking, the weather where you are in the north of Georgia is very, there's lots of nice Pintos around Atlanta that I know about. But yeah, I know these are really, really stunning ones here. There's huge ancient ones lining some of the streets here in Pasadena, which is really interesting. Florida Keys. I went to the Florida Keys in New Year's of 2020, so December 2019, January 2020, and it was just amazing. Yeah. So again, when you talk about Florida, that's one of the coolest places. And obviously, there's nothing like that in California. There are islands, but it's again the sort of like Mediterranean type islands rather than that sort of tropical, incredibly blue turquoise water. So that's one of the coolest things. I love the Keys, and there's lipstick palms down there. There's tropical palms that obviously don't stand a chance here growing in the Keys. So it is so mild down there. And I mean, it's not even really, I wouldn't even call it mild. It's just really hot and humid. Although the nice thing about the Keys is that you have all those tropical, the breeze is blowing through, and it's a lot cooler than, especially in summer, than inland Florida. Because Florida, by the ocean, it can be 85 degrees, but once you drive into like the Everglades, in the middle of the state, Orlando, somewhere like there, it'll easily be 95 degrees. And then with the humidity, it'll feel like over 100. It's just brutal, really brutal, but very nice and palmy. It's 12:30 a.m. here. Oh gosh, wow, right, I forgot the time, of course, because it feels not that late here, but I'm on Pacific time now, so gosh, just watching the clouds come over the mountains. Oh wow, you can see it at 12:30 a.m. That's crazy. Climate diversity went from a thunderstorm to clear skies 5 miles today. Wow, crazy. It's kind of like Florida. Florida doesn't really have a huge climatic diversity within such a small area, but it's sort of off and on rain. I guess it's sort of like that. That's crazy. A lot of trees over here are turning green. Yes, I know. So that's the thing I noticed about Albuquerque is that you know, I know a lot of the neighborhoods are obviously planted with deciduous trees, which in winter, you know, obviously it can look kind of gray. But, you know, once that warm season hits, it's kind of like DC, almost like that, because DC is filled with deciduous trees. All of our native trees, almost in our forests, the vast majority are deciduous. But once spring hits, it's like a rainforest in there, and all of those. If you look at like an overhead view of DC, it's almost hard to tell there are neighborhoods because there's just so many trees clouding everything out. It's really beautiful. But in winter, unfortunately, it's just kind of gray. Here, almost everything's evergreen. Looks kind of like this year round. You know, that looks like a deciduous tree there. That might be a California sycamore. But yeah, looks like I got to go, folks. The garden's going to be closing soon, it sounds like. But I'm just going to end it really quickly, or end it really soon. But I just wanted to thank you guys for joining on here. And yeah, let me just finish this really quickly. A lot of trees over here. I love the spring wind plants. Yes, love it too. I can't wait to see the washes. Yes, I know. So are a lot of the washes around you damaged, Albuquerque palm trees? Because I know a lot of them, at least in bad winters and even moderate winters there, will get really burnt. But that's the thing, is that, you know, you don't get the same deep freezes like the East Coast. So those washes will get burnt year after year, but they'll keep coming back. And there are some beautiful, beautiful, massive washes there. So that's really cool. Thanks for joining in. Thank you so much. Isn't one of those Butias a hybrid? Yes. There is a Butia jubea hybrid right over there. I think I showed it earlier. There's some Butia Seagris hybrids as well. These ones are pure Butia, I can just tell, but the Butia jubea, although, yeah, I'm pretty sure these are pure Butia, but there's a hybrid somewhere over in that direction. Bye. Thanks for your next live stream. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Kishmaki, and thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. That was so nice of you. Yeah, just gonna head out shortly. But start making my way back. You can see this. Oh, this is a Livstonus cerevis. That's what this is. Amazing. From Southeast Asia. Beautiful, beautiful species. All right, folks, let's start to make our way back here. Look at this. This is, sorry, whoever was asking about Butia jubea. This, I believe, yes, this is a jubea cross. This is a jubea cross Butia. So, yeah, there you go. Just kind of looks like a giant jubea. But I guess the leaves sort of have some Butia characteristics. Just gorgeous. Look at that. First glance, I thought it was just a Butia, but it's a hybrid. Thank you so much. All the bougainvillea and flame trees are in flower. That's amazing. Yeah, I know there's some of those here, and they must be flowering, but I haven't noticed it really. Maybe they're about to. Let's just see. Look at the amount of seeds from these. There's seedlings everywhere. This is a young Jubaeops caphora. At a young age, it looks a lot like a coconut, kind of. Very coconut-like. You can see that. This is just a pure Jubea. Look at that. Look at the size of this palm. This thing's like 100 years old for sure. Thanks for an excellent live stream. Some of the Washingtonians here are older than the LA ones. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, no, so I mean, yeah, they are ancient there, I'm sure. Well over 100 feet. Yeah, there's some here that are about 130 feet, I'd say it's the maximum. Ancient plants. The oldest I know of was planted around 1850. And I've actually have a video of it. If you search up oldest palm tree in LA, I have a video of that. But yeah, just heading back. Massive, I know, it's crazy. And for this garden, it's like nothing because they're everywhere. But, you know, for me, it's just like hard to take in the scale. Trachycarpus, you know, Phoenix canarensis, Jubea, Livistona, huge washes there. Ancient, look at it. And then you got the mountains right there. I mean, it's just perfect. The weather's perfect. Gorgeous. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining in. Cal, Z, Bucky's Dog Games, Palm Trees, Albuquerque Palm Trees, Geshmaki, thank you so much. DC5V, Plants and Games, all you guys. And yeah, thank you so much. Take care, folks, and I'll keep you guys posted. More videos on the way from here. Sunny California. Finally sunny after all the rain. Just beautiful. Take care, folks. Bye.